everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm doing a baking for beginners video for you, and this recipe would be great for Valentine's Day, but it would also be great any time of the year. And it's a recipe that I found on the Betty Crocker website, so I will link that below in the description box for you. But I'm going to be making red velvet white chocolate chip cookies. And they just sounded yummy to me, and them being red velvet, I thought it was fitting for Valentine's Day. So let me get into what you will need. I'll just list everything. I've already pre-measured a lot of stuff, and then I will obviously show you everything as we're going through, but here is the list of things you will need. Half a cup of salted butter softened. You will also need 1 cup of packed light brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 1 egg, 2 teaspoons of red gel or liquid food coloring. I have food coloring. 1 3/4 cups of original Bisquick mix, 1/4 cup unsweetened baking cocoa, and 1 cup white vanilla baking chips. And it says you can add more as desired. Now also you're going to need 2 baking sheets, and they said to either use these silicone baking mats or cooking parchment paper. So since I have these baking mats, that's what I'm using. You're also going to need a large bowl and mixer. And so we're going to start by preheating the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and our mats are already lined, so then let's preheat the oven and then go on to the next step. First off, we're going to beat the butter and brown sugar with the mixer on medium speed until light and fluffy. So I already have our brown sugar measured out right here, and then we do need to put in our half cup of salted butter softened. It's the whole stick, and it's not softened yet, but we'll do our best. All right, so first I'm going to put in the brown sugar. And then I'm going to add our butter. So let's beat that together. Okay, I think that's good. So now it says to beat in the vanilla, egg, and food coloring. So first I'm going to do the vanilla, which again is 2 teaspoons. And then next is an egg. And then the 2 teaspoons of the food coloring. That used most of the food coloring container. All right, so now we mix those things together. Okay, and now that that is all combined, we are going to add the Bisquick, which again is 1 3/4 cups. So I don't have a 3/4 cup, so what I did for that was just used a half a cup and a 1/4 cup to make 3/4 cup. And then we also need to add the cocoa, which is 1/4 cup, but my 1/4 cup was being used, so now I can do that. Sure smells good. So now it says to beat low until combined. And it's all stuck to my mixer, so I've unplugged it, and I'm going to try to get that unstuck. Now I will mix a little bit more. So now you can see from my spatula that it has reached a nice red color. It looks well mixed. So now we're going to remove the beating attachment and then stir in our chocolate chips or white chocolate chips. Again, it's going to be 1 cup unless you desire more. I will say this does seem to be more of a sticky batter than a normal cookie batter because it's really sticking to my spatula and everything, and it's hard to get off, and usually on spatulas things are pretty easy to come off, so that's just something to let you know about. But now time to add the chocolate chips or white chocolate chips. And I'm going to take this off of here just because I feel like that will be easier. Stirring is the most challenging part so far. See what I mean about the sticking? Okay, so now we want to drop the cookie dough in rounded tablespoonfuls about 2 inches apart on the cookie sheets. For the first go around, I'm leaving a little more space than I think, just because I am not sure. Hopefully these won't stick to the tray too much, but we will find out. Alright, so I'm going to put the first batch in while I'm filling the second pan, and it is very specific about how to cook it, so I wanted to make sure I relay that to you. It says to bake 8 to 10 minutes, but no longer than 10 minutes. The person who contributed the recipe said theirs were perfect at 8 minutes. They say the cookies will look underdone, but this is what you want. Cool on cookie sheets for 5 minutes, then remove from cookie sheets to cooling racks. So they'll have a little more time to cook on the pan. So I'm going to start with the 8 minutes and see how that goes. Alright, one batch is about to come out. The next batch is going to go in. I still have a little bit of dough for probably a couple more cookies that I'll put in once the pan has finished cooling the cookies and they've moved to the cooling rack. And then I'm going to check back with you once they are finished baking. Here is the finished product. And just to let you know, the recommended time of 8 minutes did not work for me. I did the first batch 8 minutes and they were way undercooked even after leaving them on the pan for 5 minutes. They were mainly in the center undercooked and it didn't seem as though they were going to cook through. So the second batch I did for 10 minutes, and then I tried putting the first batch back in for 2 minutes, but it still wasn't enough to cook all of them, so some of the first batch just didn't work out. But the 10 minutes seemed to work better, at least for my oven. So I guess you'll just have to kind of guess and judge based on your personal oven. But the majority of them did cook. They look nice in the red velvet color. They each have lots of chocolate chips to them. They did come out bigger than I expected they would, so let's see how it tastes. It's hard to say if they taste red velvet, but be warned, they are very sweet and sugary. It is nice that the center is soft though, because I do prefer a softer cookie. And you do get hints of that cocoa flavor every now and then. So they're good. I like them, but they are very sweet, as I said, so you definitely need a drink of water with them. Don't think you could eat a lot of them without getting a stomach ache, so just keep that in mind. But for a fun, fairly quick Valentine's recipe, this is one that's great to try. Again, you could make it any time of the year. I found it very easy to follow, simple to do for a beginner like me. The hardest part was the baking time and how long to do that for, but otherwise I found the recipe fairly simple. I think it turned out well, so it's definitely one that I would recommend to you beginners out there. I hope that you enjoyed baking with me today. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And definitely let me know what you'd like to see in future baking videos, and I will do my best to make that happen for you. But thank you very much for watching. I hope that whatever your plans are for Valentine's Day, you have a great one, whether that's with a significant other, or you're having a Galentine's Day, or a Palentine's Day, or perhaps even a pet Valentine's Day. I couldn't make that one work with the Valentine word, but whoever you're celebrating with, if you choose to celebrate, I hope that you enjoy it. And I'll talk to you soon in another video. Bye! Which means I should probably take it out of the refrigerator. I'll just warm it up with my hands a little bit. Oh, my bowl is not quite attached. No, Duncan! Duncan! Get out of here! Here is the